probably been the most comfortable I felt with a bag. That has been by far my best drive ever on this hole. There we go. What's going on, everybody? Kelly, and I'm bringing you a brand new video today. So today we are going to be playing the back nine out here at Osage Grove. We really have something special going on here today just because of the front nine score that we actually shot. On the front nine, we ended up shooting a perfect 9 down on the short pad and short pin locations out here at Osage Grove. Right now, this course is set up in this specific type of layout for the final night of league that happened just a few days ago. So far, we are playing super well out here. We are going to run with the score that we currently have and try to continue this here on the back nine. Really what we want to focus on here today is staying really good and shooting really well off the tee, along with having great putting on the green like we have so far out here today. So we're gonna head into hole 10 here. These are all going to be on the short pin locations as well. So we're going to try and get some ace runs, hit some more birdies out here, and just have a really good time. Thank you again, and let's get into hole 10. Hole 10 is going to be in the A pin location. It is going to be 185 feet. You're gonna see the basket right there. We're gonna start the round out here with the Big Z Fierce. We're gonna just try and give this thing an ace run, put it close to the basket, either throw this thing in or end up with a birdie on this super short hole. More than likely gonna do a standstill here just to be a little bit more accurate. Miss it. That should be a great spot to be in to start out the round here, probably just a little past the basket. The front nine that we played out here at Osage Grove was by far the best round of the year so far, maybe even my best round of all time. I'm gonna link that up in the cards up above so that you guys can go check it out and see how well I actually played out there on the front nine. I am super stoked to be in the spot that we're in on the back nine here as well. Just being 9 down, this is going to give us a great opportunity to actually get to that double-digit number that we're always looking for. We are in a great spot right now. We're going to take a look and see where we ended up here on hole 10 and hopefully start this round out with a birdie. There we go. Start the round out with a birdie. Going to start the round out with a birdie on the back nine here. That's going to put us 10 down through 10 holes now, which is absolutely huge. We're gonna head into hole 11 here. I've not seen most of these locations, like the pin locations in the shorts before. Typically, when I come out here for league or have played this in the past on the channel, they've always been either in the B or C location. So we're gonna have to take a look and see. Hopefully we can keep this up and keep getting some birdies. Guys, the basket here on hole 11, because you're not gonna be able to see it from the tee pad. Basket's just gonna be straight down there. Gonna wanna hit this initial gap right here. It's gonna be a par 3, 275 feet in the A location. You're gonna have a couple options off the tee here. You can either go down this left side here, which is a pretty tight gap, or try and make it through this gap that we're going to try and go through the trees here and just end up somewhere towards the basket back that way. So I'm gonna take the Glow Passion here. We're gonna go up this right side gap, throw this thing pretty hard, throw it pretty flat just so that it goes pretty straight for a little while and has a nice reliable fade at the end that the Passion does have. Hopefully we can get something close to the basket here. This is probably gonna be the toughest hole that we've played through 11 holes now. That looked like a great line. We should be in a pretty good spot if it didn't skip off the fairway or off the green. The Discraft Passion is the only fairway driver in my bag right now. The Passion just fits my game really well. You can put it on a lot of different lines, whether that be an Anheuser angle and have it just turn over just a little bit. Throw it flat, it's gonna go really, really straight. And you can also put it on a hyzer and it's either gonna hold the line depending on what plastic you have. For example, like the Glow Passion holds a line a little bit better than the Prototype does. So I highly recommend checking one out if you can find one. I know they're a little bit tougher to find right now, but I really, really enjoy it. That's what I threw here. So we're gonna take a look and see where we ended up and hopefully get a birdie. So we ended up in a pretty good spot here just over this log. We're gonna have probably about a 20-25 footer to get a birdie on here on hole 11. There we go. Man, 11 birdies in a row. This is crazy. So that is going to put us 11 down through 11 holes now going into hole 12. I know some of the holes here coming up are going to be a little bit more difficult here on this back. So if we can get those birdies, that's going to be huge. But either way, I am so stoked on this round so far right now. We're gonna head into hole 12 here and see what we can get into. 12 is going to be a par 3, 260 feet. You're going to see the basket through all of those trees up there. This one's going to be pretty tricky. So I think this one's going to line up best for the Adam Hammond's Wasp. I'm just going to push something down the right side here, have the reliable fade that the Wasp does offer go towards the basket. Hopefully get something close here on this 260-foot hole and put another birdie in. That is actually really parked or really long of the basket. I'm not really sure yet. There we go. 12 down through 12 now. This has probably been the most comfortable I've felt with a bag right now. Throwing all Discraft, there's just so many great molds that they have available, whether it be overstable mids, straight flying mids, drivers, anything that you're looking for. I highly recommend checking out some of the molds that you're seeing me throw here today. Like I said, I always make sure to let you know what I'm actually throwing before I throw it off the tee. That way, if you like the flight of it, you can check one out. Make sure you check them out. If we do have some of this stuff, it'll be on nomadicdg.com. But yeah, we're gonna head into hole 13 here. This one's gonna be our first real bomber hole. So we're gonna get into things. 13 is going to be 345 feet, par 3. The basket's gonna be just down there. You're gonna see that bush out there. It's just gonna be tucked right behind that. This is the same location that it was in the last time that we played out here at Osage Grove. So we're gonna try and get something close. I'm feeling pretty good, pretty confident out here today. Just gonna pump something down there. Hopefully get something close to the basket. This is definitely an opportunity for a birdie, but can also turn into a par really quick. All right, so I'm gonna take the prototype Hades here, seeing that it is a 345-foot hole. My backhand distance isn't very far, so I'm gonna have to go with something a little bit more understable, maybe flex this thing over and have it come back towards the end here. Really liking this disc right now for my distance shots, so we're gonna see what we can get down the fairway here. I turned that thing a little bit too far over. I should have put a little bit more hyzer on it and a little bit more height. It would have been great. We're going to be out in the open though and have probably a jump putt at the basket. So I'm going to stay pretty confident out here just because our putting and jump putting has been going pretty well lately. We're going to be way off to the right side of where the basket is with that prototype Hades shot. This could possibly be the end of our birdie train here, but that's all right. If we're going into hole 13 with 12 birdies, that's absolutely huge. I'm loving that. That's boosting the confidence a lot, but we're gonna take a look and see what type of jump putt we have and try and sink something in the basket. So we ended up pin high the basket, just way off to the right here. So we're gonna have a jump putt to try and save this birdie to keep this birdie train going. Oh man, gave it a nice run, but that's gonna end the birdie train there. That's all right though. Wanted to hit that birdie there with that jump putt. That would have been a long jump putt, but we'll take a par there. We went 12 holes with birdies. We'll take a par here on 13 and head into hole 14 here. All right, there's our first par. That's all right. It took 13 holes to get us a par. That's fine. 14 is going to be 185 feet. There's this super tempting gap to go down. It's super tight though. So we're more than likely gonna take this right side here. All right, I'm gonna take my ESP zone here. Just put this thing out to the left side on a lot of hyzer and just let it crash towards the basket. This is a really good opportunity to pick up a birdie after the par we just took. All right, we're gonna be a little bit wide off to the left there, but we'll have a look at the basket there. This is one of those holes, hole 14 out here at Osage Grove, that it's like the hole in distance is so short that it actually makes it more difficult just because you have to like throw it so soft. And for my forehand, it's really hard for me to actually put it on like a full hyzer line. So we're gonna be off to the left side there, but we should still have an open look for a birdie, which is much needed after taking that par, because we are trying to get back on the birdie train here. Got a little bit of a distance and a little bit of a tricky putt here. There we go. Pick up another birdie there. All right, super stoked to pick up a musket birdie out here. That is like probably one of the shorter holes out here that's typically always in that location as well. So if you're out here for a league or just playing with your buddies, you definitely want to get that one. So we're gonna pick that one up. That is going to put us, I believe, 13 down through 14 holes now. We're gonna head into hole 15 and hopefully get another birdie. 15 A pin location. This one is typically where it's actually at. Going to be 210 feet. You're going to see the basket just down there. We're going to take our Glow Z zone here, just put it out to the left side on a forehand line, let it fade back in towards the basket. Hopefully make it up on top of the green and not where that like the receding wall is, because that's kind of a tough putt from there. All right, that's gonna be well long of the basket. We push a little bit too far, but I would rather be farther away from that wall just so that we have a more like open putt at the basket. The people who take care of Osage Grove out here do a fabulous job. It's why it's rated so high on UDisc with the 4.5 out of 5 stars. I highly recommend coming and checking this course out. It's always maintained. They rotate the pin locations, 2 different tee pads, longs, shorts. It's got a lot of different options for you. It's wooded golf, which is, I'm biased to it. I love it. But we're gonna take a look and see where we ended up. Hopefully not too long of the basket so we can have a good look at a birdie. We actually ended up in a perfect spot. This is gonna give us a good look here. We're not too close to this the receding wall here, or whatever you call it. So we're gonna try and get this thing in the basket here. There we go. Another birdie. 16 is going to be our first par 4. It's going to be 395 feet. You're just gonna wanna keep something out in the open, not off to this left side. If you do end up off to the right side, that's all right, because you're gonna have an open look towards the basket. That's just tucked in slightly into the gap there. I'm gonna take my prototype Hades here, just pump something out there, hopefully get something in the open for a good looking second shot into the guarded green that is there. There's a lot of trees that actually guard the green. You just gotta make it through there. So gotta have a really good first shot here. That was an absolute crush. That is probably my best drive of the day. That thing flexed over nice and had a nice finish back towards where we're actually looking to be. That's been my best drive on this hole ever. The prototype Hades is definitely my workhorse driver. I rely on that thing pretty heavily because of my slower arm speed. It allows me to get a little bit more distance than something that's a little bit more stable, like my prototype Kong or even my Big Z Zeus that I have in the bag. I highly recommend, if you have a slower arm speed, checking out a Hades. It's gonna be great for learning how to get a little bit more distance if you're at that point where you're moving up to distance drivers. Really recommend one. We're gonna take a look and see where we ended up. That has been by far my best drive ever on this hole. I typically end off towards the right, so we should be in a really good spot to possibly give this thing a jump putt for an eagle, or if not, we're gonna end up with a birdie here. Oh, I actually ended up right there. Basket is going to be there, and I'm going to show you guys the tee pad of where we just came from. I'm going to measure this with the bush now just to see how far I actually just threw that. I am so stoked on that drive. I just checked with the bush now. It looks like we threw that thing between 350 and 360, which is an absolute crush for my arm speed. Super stoked on that. We're going to give this thing a run and possibly get an eagle here. We're going to have a tough putt, but either way, we're going to try and put this thing in the basket. This is a super tough putt. Dang it, that was a really tough putt. That would have been a great eagle to get, but we're gonna end up with a birdie here on what I thought was a par 3 is actually a par 4, so we'll take it. Big birdie on that par 4. So I think the reason why I was able to throw that distance driver so well there is I've been throwing a lot of putters and mids lately, which really help improve your form. I highly recommend doing like a putter only or a putter and mid round only, and then trying to throw some distance drivers just to see what you need to correct. It's a lot easier to see what is wrong when you're throwing a putter as opposed to a distance driver. So I think that's why I was able to get a little bit more distance that time around with the Hades, but that's super cool. We're gonna head into hole 17 now. We're gonna be looking to get another birdie on this one. This one's a little bit of an easier hole than the last hole that we just played, so let's get into it. Hole 17, it's gonna just be pretty much a nice easy hyzer over this little valley that you have here. It's gonna be in the A pin location, about 220 feet. Gonna try and give this thing an ace run. I'm gonna take my Glow Z zone here, just try and throw this thing pretty flat. let it go pretty straight and just have a nice reliable fade at the end towards the basket here. This one, pretty straightforward hole here. That should be in a really good spot. Definitely have a look at a birdie there. All right, that is going to put us 16 down through 17 holes now here. Heading into the final hole out here at Osage Grove. This is hole 18. This is probably one of the most difficult holes for me just because of the type of shot that you actually have to throw. So let's see what we can get into and possibly get our first birdie ever on this hole. Hole 18 is going to be a par 3, 320 feet, super tight dog leg to the right here. You're going to want something to not push too far out there. You want to put something on a massive hyzer or a backhand turnover out here. Like I was saying, I've never birdied this hole before. It's super difficult just because I don't have a great turnover backhand shot. So we're going to stick with the Raptor here on a forehand and just try and put this thing on a lot of hyzer out to this right side and get something down the fairway. It's definitely going to be short, but I put it on a great hyzer line. I'm actually really stoked on that. We're going to have a tough look probably for a birdie here. So that's probably been my greatest drive ever on this final hole out here at Osage Grove. I actually really enjoyed that hyzer line that I put it on. Typically with the forehand, I'm turning over everything, but that came out of the hand on pure hyzer. So we're going to be down the fairway. It didn't sound like we hit any trees or anything. So we'll take a look here. Probably have a tough jump putt to hit a birdie here on the final hole. So let's take a look and see where we ended up. So you're going to see the basket now down there. We ended up well short of the basket. So we're still a bit of ways away from the basket. Actually, it's going to be downhill. I don't think it's going to line up best for a jump putt just because of how far we still have. So I'm just going to take the fierce and try and either throw it in the basket or just get something close here. Set. All right, that'll do. Obviously not the spot we wanted to be in on the final hole coming up that short, but either way, I'm stoked on the hyzer line that we put that forehand on. Committed to the actual line that I wanted. Ended up a little bit shorter. Probably could have taken a distance driver there just to get a little bit more distance, but we're gonna take a look and see how far away this fierce is and try and put this thing in the basket to end on a par. There we go. That's a great par to probably end the best round that I've ever had. That is going to conclude the back nine out here at Osage Grove and the full 18 out here. Man, this has been such an amazing round out here today. I have probably shot the best round that I've ever shot before. We actually only ended up missing 2 birdies, so we're gonna end up being 16 down through 18 holes on the red tees and the short baskets out here at Osage Grove. Man, this has been an amazing time. I absolutely love this course. Highly recommend coming to check this out. Make sure that you go check out nomadicdg.com for any of your disc golf needs. Make sure that you leave a like down below on the video if you did enjoy checking it out. Make sure you leave a comment and let me know what you think that you could actually shoot out here at Osage Grove on this league layout. And make sure that you hit that subscribe button because we're going to be bringing you more videos coming up throughout the weeks here. Thank you guys again for watching, and we will see you in the next one.